This episode is brought to you by Love Honey. Relationships can be messy, chaotic, and here's something nobody really says out loud, but everyone knows. Sometimes other people are just a lot. The situationship that's been situationshipping for 6 months with no resolution. The date who was perfect on paper but insufferable in person. The person who texts back eventually, having clearly not read what you actually said. And at some point, you just decide, not tonight. Tonight, I am taking myself off the market entirely. Plans cancelled, door locked, phone face down. This evening is for me and nobody else is invited. This is actually a radical act of self-prioritisation. Choosing your own good time over waiting for someone else to maybe, possibly, if you're lucky, deliver one. Which is exactly what Love Honey is about. Your pleasure on your terms. No compromises, no mixed signals, no emotional admin. Just you actually having a good time. Love Honey. Because you deserve a good time without the admin. Find them at lovehoney.co.uk.
Late night bites with friends? Already hard to beat. That first too hot bite of fries you couldn't wait for, followed by ice cold Pepsi. Now that hits different. Suddenly, the energy kicks back in, the night goes longer, and the laughs don't stop. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
Hi, it's Dave here, and this is my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
And this is the Cinemile, the podcast where we walk home from the movies. And today we are walking via Oak Street, which is on the way to our cinema. And we're going to see the end of Oak Street, which is the latest in the summer of Hathaway, as we're calling it. The latest Hathaway flick.
This has been our most requested review since, I think, Backrooms, maybe?
Is it?
A lot of messages on Instagram about this one. Oh. Also in the Patreon, there's like spoiler threads and everything that people have set up that we can't read yet. We're a little bit late to the cinema. We never made it last week. I'm buzzing for this one. The Summer of Hathaway is hilarious, right? Or the Year of Hathaway. So the last film she had been in before this year was The Idea of You, which...
Oh, we saw that.
We watched.
That was
I can't remember.
Prime Video thing. That was she dates a younger guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was all right.
I think we might have reviewed it on Patreon. It was fine.
Oh, he's a rock star.
Yeah.
He's a pop star. He's a young sort of Harry Styles type, and she's a mom.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, this year she's been in Mother Mary, which we haven't seen. The Devil Wears Prada, which we have reviewed on this podcast. The Odyssey, which of course we have reviewed on this podcast. The End of Oak Street, which we're about to watch, and then upcoming, it looks really good, Verity.
That looks great. I turned off the trailer for that because I'm like,
it looks really good. However, I think because of the huge press around Devil Wears Prada Odyssey, I feel like because it went straight from Odyssey into The End of Oak Street, it's kind of confused people a little bit. And I don't think this film's really benefiting from her being the lead in the way that like Devil Wears Prada did, or even The Odyssey. Like, it's like the way Tom Holland just turned around from The Odyssey into Spider-Man, but that worked because it's The Odyssey and Spider-Man. I don't know, I think it's kind of affected this. I don't think it's getting a lot of buzz from movie nerds.
Do you know, the biggest mistake she made here is she's not in Spider-Man. Why wasn't she in Spider-Man? She should have just kept it going.
She should have been Aunt May.
Every movie this summer.
She should have inexplicably been Aunt May.
It's Aunt May, you're alive, and you look different.
Anyway, we're buzzing for this. Love a good dinosaur movie. Obviously, the other big white dinosaur movie of the summer is Paw Patrol, the dino movie,
yeah.
which I have also reviewed if you scroll back.
So many dinosaur
Dave,
movies.
you missed it, so you won't be able to compare the two.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
A lot of people saying this is like a Spielberg movie.
I'm looking forward to this, because the other Spielberg movie we got by Spielberg wasn't great.
No.
So if we can get a bit of that Spielberg magic, this is by, he's either called David Robert Mitchell, or it could be Robert David Mitchell, or it could be Mitchell David Robert. He has 3 first names. Mm-hmm. He's the director that did It Follows most famously about 10 years ago, which is a great little flick. And so I'm excited to turn out for him, who I think he's a great filmmaker, and I'm excited to watch something that is original and not based on anything.
I know, shocking.
So it's like, it's for anybody who doesn't know the premise, you're about to hear it in the trailer, but it's what if what if you woke up one day and your house was in the dinosaur times and your whole street was?
I mean, it's a
That's fun.
like cracker, like absolute cracker of an elevator pitch.
Yeah, real old high concept stuff set in the 80s.
Or what if you're a boatload of pups who get washed onto an
Whoa,
island?
slow down.
And that island is filled with dinosaurs because the ice age never hit that island because of a volcano that may or may not erupt during the course of the
Hang on,
film.
spoilers? Is this a spoiler?
I'm just saying, I'm well versed on dinosaurs after that Paw Patrol
Excellent.
movie.
Okay, so
Anyway,
you're ready.
and
We're primed.
We were both disappointed by Spielberg's actual movie this year, so hopefully we'll get a better Spielberg out of this one.
Here we go. We'll see you shortly.
Did anybody else see that weird light last night?
What weird light?
The wind was blowing all crazy. Starbuck was freaked out and barking.
Could have been lights from a helicopter.
Or a UFO? Aliens.
Shut up, Dad.
Water's not working.
Looks like the whole neighborhood's lost power.
What the hell is that?
We can't leave.
I think that our neighborhood, our house, our whole street has moved.
How the hell is that even possible?
Okay, hi, we're back. We've seen the end of Oak Street. If it's your first time here at the Cinemile, we won't spoil the movie until we get to Spoiler Street, which is parallel to Oak Street. It's just right around the corner.
Luckily, it was not in the zone that Oak Street was in.
Thankfully, we saw this giant bubble appear. Very odd. Kathy, what did you think of that film?
I had a total blast. We kept turning to each other and saying, like, this is so fun. Perfect summer movie. It's obviously ridiculous and stupid as well. But I really enjoyed it. I felt it lagged a bit in the middle. There was a point where I got concerned that I was going to get bored, but then that passed. And I have to say, I had forgotten Ewan McGregor was in this. And do you remember when Anne Hathaway hosted the Oscars with James Franco?
Yeah, how could I forget?
And she tried harder than any Oscar host has ever tried in their life. Not typically a co-hosting situation. And he stood there like a plank of wood. And
I see where you're going here.
Then people were so mean afterwards, like saying how try-hard she was. And it was like, no, she's overcompensating for how useless her male co-star was.
Yeah.
Well, in this film, Ewan McGregor stands like a plank of wood for most of the film. Does nothing. Could have been anyone. I can't believe how boring he was. He brought nothing to the film. And I don't even think he's been like bringing it out on the press junket to drum up. The only press I've seen about it has been her anyway. So I feel like once again Anne Hathaway's done incredible heavy lifting here. And he's a dud. I thought the kids were fun. I thought it had some great tropes. I thought the dinosaurs looked really good. Like, humans fighting dinosaurs is just hilarious and ridiculous. And also, of course, dinosaurs like being in the suburbs is ridiculous. So great fun, perfect summer flick. Obviously, it's not the best film I've seen this year, but I had a good time, Dave.
How does it compare to Paw Patrol, the Dino movie?
Very similar films, actually, dealing with very similar themes. Genuinely, the dinosaurs in Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, were better than they needed to be and scarier than they should have been. I talked about that in the podcast. Here, I think they were better than they needed to be as well. Like, it was legit decent looking, right?
Did the dinosaur? Yeah, the special effects are really good in this.
What do you think of the film?
Did Ryder resolve his marital issues in Paw Patrol, the Dino movie?
You have to watch it.
Oh, okay.
What do you think of it, Oak Street, though?
I had a great time. This is real fun, big blockbuster cinema fare.
Yeah.
It is. This is not a perfect film. Far from it.
Yeah.
I have so many issues with this film, and we'll get into all of them on Spoiler Street. I had to write them down. There are huge problems with this movie, I think. I think the dialogue is, and the writing is poor. All the actors are good except for Ewan McGregor, who I completely agree with you. It's like, what is it like?
Where's
is
his
it
energy
because
gone?
we know he's Scottish that we can't accept? My brain could not accept what it was hearing. This flat, strange,
I mean, the accent didn't help.
Midwestern. It's just not good, and he's not good in this.
But
And
I was thinking back to Moulin Rouge days and literally peak of his career in my mind, obviously also Trainspotting. But the energy he brings to those two roles, he's full of life in those.
But
and
I think
now this is like dead behind the eyes.
But it's a choice. I don't think it's a lack. It's the character. I don't think this is a lack of effort on his behalf. It's that he's playing boring, sad suburban dad. And
it
he
doesn't
does
work
that.
for him. Like, this is the
No,
kind of
he's
role
wrong
that,
in
like,
this.
should have been like a Paul Mescal if he was a bit older. Do you know what I mean? Like someone who's soulful. Ewan McGregor is not a soulful actor.
Yeah, that's it. You're right.
And therefore, it just came across as like he's very robotic and like very mid, and you're just watching it going, she could do better. Why
What
she
they
married
should
to
have
him?
done is they should have paired. Sorry, it's raining here. We're going to put up this umbrella. They should have paired the overexposed actor of this summer with the overexposed actor of last summer,
Who is?
Pedro Pascal.
Like,
Pedro
he
Pascal
would have
and Hathaway.
Killed it.
Yeah, he can do sad dad.
Yeah, he can do sad
Or
dad.
the other guy,
Mark Ruffalo. Hello.
Mark Ruffalo.
He could have been in
sad dad.
Spidey and this.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you've got the press tour connection.
Yeah, it should have
You've
been
got to
him.
do the press tour chain game.
Yeah.
Where an actor from the previous week's film must be in the following week's press tour.
Okay, so if Mark Ruffalo had been in this, he'd have been the dream for this role. But Ewan McGregor he can't. I don't know. He doesn't have it in him. So
It's
therefore
very
he was
flat.
just very dull.
Very flat. Okay, but that's it. So yeah, the actors are good. The script is bad. And I have very specific problems with what happens in this movie, and the end is terrible. But
no, I disagree. I don't think
the very end, the coda is dreadful. But the broad end, I'm okay with.
I liked all of the end stuff.
So, but what is good is the dinosaur scenes and action scenes in this are very good. I think this film has a great grip on peril and tension. And the minute to minute, like getting around this neighborhood while trying to avoid dinosaur stuff
So silly.
is really good. The effects are good. No, but it's like this is proper like big action blockbuster stuff. We'd considered like, you know, we've an 8-year-old and we're now like starting to introduce him to some 12A.
And he
films.
was like, when we told him the premise of this film, like,
he was curious.
He wanted to see it.
And then so I went into this thinking like, you know, maybe he could watch this. Let's check it out. Absolutely not. This film is intense.
There was a bit where I turned to Dave and said, "Oh, I see now."
Like,
there's one bit
it's
where you're
vicious.
like, "This is why it has like the higher rating."
Yeah, and there's just like, it's quite gory. I was surprised that it had I looked it up. It's got a 12A rating by the BBFC, who are my gold standard, who I check out.
In the UK.
In the UK, and I think that's the wrong call because here in Ireland it got a 15A certificate from
Shout out to
IFCO. IFCO got it right this time. This is a 15A, man.
I don't know. I
There's
think
just bodies strewn around with guts exposed, people getting their heads bit off. Like this is intense stuff. But there are I'll call out in Spoiler Street the action scenes. And because the set pieces in this film, I thought were really good.
Really good, yeah.
And that's what you want. That's what I showed up for. And I got.
What about like, this isn't a spoiler because it's just a silly part of the plot, but like, at one point the son is a bow and arrow and you're like, oh my god, he's going to like Katniss Everdeen this, you know, he's going to be amazing.
That was disappointing.
Terrible. That boy cannot shoot a bow and arrow.
The script is a mess.
I was like, I can't wait for his big moment.
What I want is, before we get to Spoiler Street, I'm just saying I think he's a really talented filmmaker. This guy.
Yeah, this film is a blast.
He's got that George Lucas thing where he can come up with a great idea, great concept, and he's clearly a very talented filmmaker. But please get a proper scriptwriter in here to work with him and punch this script up because it needed work.
But in the credits wasn't like J.J. Abrams or someone.
J.J. Abrams produced this, and this was a bad robot.
Yeah, it had a feel of a J.J. Abrams, who obviously always has a feel of like a Spielberg.
No,
but like this is better than Disclosure Day, I would say, for my money.
Oh my God, this is 100 times better than Disclosure Day. And it like, I don't know. I know a lot of people are leaning into that. I think the 80s family ambliness of it all felt a little contrived and unnecessary.
I felt
if I'm
like
honest.
that too. Like I felt like the only reason it's set in the 80s is to like nostalgia bait us.
Yeah, exactly
which is
right.
a very common theme at the moment. And we don't need to be nostalgia baited. And even the fashion was, in fairness, now they didn't lean into like 80s fashion. It was muted enough. not the way
No,
some
but
things
sorry,
go
no. But
80s.
this is what
Like,
drives
they
me
weren't
nuts.
in, like, Anne Hathaway wasn't in, like ankle warmers.
But this is no, sorry. This can I just dig into this for a second? Because this drives me nuts about this. What we just saw on screen is what a suburban family wore in the 80s. Like the media that we get. Looking backwards would have us all believe that everyone was wearing shoulder pads and like lycra leg warmers and everything was bright pink and spandex. It's like that's a nostalgic memory, neon memory.
But also this is early
of
80s.
something that didn't exist.
So this was early 80s, so they were nearly in 70s clothes. Anyway, that bit was just all, I agree, unnecessary, but why not? Bit of fun. Should we go to Spoiler Street?
Let's do it. So you might hear a quick ad here before we get to Spoiler Street.
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
Okay, before we turn on to the end of Spoiler Street, we're going to do a quick shout out to some of our new patrons over at patreon.com/thecinemile who are supporting the show for about the price of a coffee every month. And we're very
Or an
appreciative.
expensive copybook.
A very expensive A4 notepad.
Our Patreon is such good value, by the way. I've seen a lot of, looking at you, very expensive Patreons that are like €8-10 a month
Get out of town.
and don't have very active feeds. We have stuff coming out all the time, TV reviews, retro movie reviews. We're about to watch and recap in batches episodes of Lanterns on HBO. I'm also about to review
The Shards.
The Shards with guest Rosemary McCabe, and we're also about to watch a retro movie theme. This month is going to be mockumentary, so we've a
You
ton
can go
going on.
vote. You can go suggest a mockumentary
Yeah.
for us to watch.
And also the way Patreon works is if you subscribe through a browser, that's the cheapest way to do it. If you use an Apple phone, don't do it via the app on your Apple phone, do it via a browser, and then after that you can use it on the app. Apple charges an extortionate add-on that does not go to us and
Do
only
not
goes to
sign
them.
up through the app.
Do not sign up through the Apple app, but you can use it after you've signed up. Right, housekeeping over. Spoilers.
So, no, huge thank you to some of our new patrons over here. This isn't all of you, and we'll shout out everyone else in a future episode. But thank you to and apologies, I'm going to get some names wrong and probably butcher them, but I'm doing my best. Thank you to Tobin, to JW, to Jack Johnson, to Varshini Srinivasan, to Auburn, to Tessa C, to Elaine, to Monica, and to everyone else who recently joined, and to all our regular and ongoing patrons. We love you all.
We
and
love you.
Thank
Thank you
so
for being
much.
so active. Our chats are the best. We've got a movie chat, a TV chat, a new podcast chat. We've got a movie chat, and we've got a book chat in there. So
There's
loads
so much
going on.
to talk
Yeah,
about
loads
in there.
going on.
We love it. Thank you. Okay, so spoilers now for the end of Oak Street. I've got a list here. What do you want to go first?
I guess the main spoiler is we'll get to it. The Ewan McGregor one, which properly made me laugh. I mean, other than that,
Him getting eaten
What,
alive. That took me by surprise. I gotta say, this felt like the movie where the family just gonna make it till the end.
he's kind of a schlub in the film and a bit useless. So I was like, actually, I'm happy. This is a good way for that character to go. I thought it was a good death for him to be swallowed.
I almost cheered when he just whacked the dinosaur in the head with the mallet. And knocked him down. I was like, you go, sad dad.
Humans kicking and punching and being very close to dinosaurs is so stupid because the dinosaur would just kill the human straight away. So
But that's what happened. What more do you want?
Well, what happens is that Ewan McGregor, the dinosaur fully puts its mouth over him, and I thought it was going to be like a fable, where someone goes inside the belly of a whale. I thought Ewan McGregor was going to be still alive because
Swallowed whole.
because it hadn't chewed yet.
Yeah.
And then
And
I realised the dinosaur was chewing.
And then the movie did sound effects of chewing while Anna Hathaway watched in horror. And I was like, I can't believe we considered bringing our 8-year-old
I
to
know,
this for a minute.
and that was a bit where I was like, oh, this film's so cool. And then when they undid it at the end,
So you'd
I was
rather
sad
they
about
didn't
it.
undo it? Because
yeah, because I thought he was just
I'm up for timey-wimey.
No, I mean,
timey-wimey
I don't
bullshit.
mind that they undid it, but sorry that everyone else in their neighbourhood perished and they didn't try to help anyone.
Sorry, okay, I'd like to talk about this for a second.
very cynical.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this
Yeah.
movie is incredibly cynical.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was trying to convey some sort of theme here or if this is incidental. But to me, this film was projecting the theme of fuck community,
Yeah.
look after yourself and your own. Because the movie starts with this huge, like, the whole street are out and they're having a party and they're having sack race and, like, lovely community event. And this is where some of the worst dialogue came in, where a guy goes to Ewan McGregor, "Wow, Chuck, you've got the perfect family, don't you? I really do." And then he goes, "You're a very lucky man."
And
It's
Chuck's
like,
like,
what?
I'm a miserable
This
bastard.
is the first lines of the movie. I'm like, Jesus, man.
The film's setting up that, like, this guy, you won't like this guy because he really doesn't appreciate
No, but
his family.
like, come on, nobody speaks like that. Anyway, sorry. So you've got this big, like, isn't community great? And the film's called The End of Oak Street. It's about Oak Street, and the entire street gets transported. So I'm like, and they set up all these little incidental characters, like the neighbor, like the old woman who she goes to edit for book advice. And I thought, okay, we've got all these little characters. This is going to be interesting because we're going to watch them all work together and have to come together as a community to fight. No, fuck that. Close your doors. Close your doors, this movie says. Lock them up and watch through the windows as your neighbours get eaten alive and
Now,
do
that-
fucking nothing.
Dave, that being said, right, as much as, like, I'm neighbourly and would want to help my neighbours, if someone was literally being chased by a T-Rex, I'd be like, I'm tapped out.
Sorry,
I'm
at so many points. It was so, like, it was happening so often. I was like, this has to be deliberate. Like,
Yeah.
they saw a family get into a car. At this point, Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway are running from dinosaurs. They know they're
Yeah, and
dinosaurs.
they didn't
there.
even call out.
They didn't call out, like, quick, get in our house.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, no,
and
quick,
then
get
there's
back to
another
your
point.
own- no, they should have said, go back to your own house.
Go back into your
Yeah.
own house. They're just like, oh well, they're just watching people get eaten. They see their mean neighbor on the roof. They're not like, hey.
Well, no, but Dave, there's
come-
nothing they could do to help him already. He was firing and drawing, like, flying dinosaurs.
My
on top of
point is,
himself.
they didn't even try.
Yeah.
And the movie he's writing the movie, he can contrive ways that the neighbours could come together and help. So I was really surprised at how insular the movie, and there's stuff where they're running through the neighbourhood and they're just literally seeing other people and nobody shouts out to anybody.
Yeah.
And at a point I was like, they had this whole subplot with the son who like, you know, beat up a fellow kid, broke his arm, and then the older brother's coming to kick his ass, right? Whatever. And then that resolves with him getting beaten up, and then the brother's like, I'm scared, I need to get out of here. And he's like, what have I done? And I'm like, okay, so now this is going to go somewhere interesting because they're going to team up they're going to have to come into the family, get this awkward thing, and they have to work. No, they're gone.
none of that.
They're just like, bye, fuck you, neighbours, we're
the
off.
only one we see later is, like, the quote-unquote, like, cute girl that
That's the only one they did it with.
the brother had kind of been spying on earlier. But I think that what was interesting, though, was as much as the parents didn't want to help anyone, it was actually the kids who kept being like, we should help people, we should go out. Now, I think the film got away with it because of the hand-wavy thing they did at the end, which we'll speak to in a minute. But what else did you want to talk about before the end, though?
We'll go to the end now, because that, to your point, that's the ultimate, the end is the ultimate, like, full stop on this theme of we can't save everyone, and we're just going to watch them all get sent to the past and get eaten because we know that's going to happen. But we can save a few people, and like
anyone whose phone number she knows.
But I'm like, surely the movie could contrive a way to evacuate. I think like, okay, let's talk about the end. I like the pizza moment, and I like the reunion.
The pizza moment was great.
I like that. I found that heartfelt.
Yeah, that was great.
Everything after that, I think, is a disaster and feels like quick reshoots, re-edits. I don't think this is the original ending. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, news footage, the most lame news footage. Like, as we all know, it's been 2 years since fucking dinosaurs arrived in a street. Do you remember that? And here's some of the survivors. And it's like, I'll never forget. Like, and like all the neighbors being like, I'll never forget that strange phone call I got, and I'm so glad I took it. Fuck off. As if Mel, the next door neighbor who hates Anne Hathaway, gets a phone call from her in the middle of the night, and she's like, listen, you have to get out. There's, you know, whatever, maybe she made up some bullshit. You have to leave your house immediately. You have 10 minutes. Get out of there. Like, fuck off, he's doing that.
Well,
he's
can I
like,
say my
he's
main
like, go
issue?
fuck yourself. Your dog keeps shitting in my lawn.
Sorry, there
I
was
hate you.
the fun bits that I liked earlier on the film, by the way, was like the dinosaur dung in his garden and the strange plant in the old lady's garden. I thought that was fun, kind of Scooby-Doo kind of mystery stuff. About the ending, I actually think it made Anne Hathaway look terrible, right? Because her character, whose name I obviously don't remember, because earlier on in the film she's like trying to be a writer and she's writing this really kind of like memoir-inspired kind of prose, and then that all gets lost in the flood. So then she's like, I know what I'll do. I'll only rescue 3, maybe 4 people instead of rescuing my whole street.
So cynical, isn't it?
And then I am a hack. I will write a book and
to exploit. Yeah, exactly.
I will exploit and profit from all of these people's debts, and then in the end they live in like this massive mansion and they're super rich. And that I thought was actually really cynical.
It's so cynical, this movie.
It's like that stuff was all. It's just all bizarre.
Also,
that being
sorry,
said, I loved every minute of it.
They didn't resolve any of their marital issues because, firstly, he hasn't gone through anything they've gone through. None of it. This guy. So for all from his perspective, he's delivering a pizza and all the issues exist. And then suddenly his wife's like, do you know what? I love you because I saw you die.
No,
and
but
I
what about the
realised
Polaroid of the dinosaurs and the dinosaurs shagging each other? That was so fun.
That was a really funny scene.
Yeah,
and I can't believe we've had 15 Jurassic Park movies and we've never seen dinosaurs shagging.
We haven't seen the last like 4, to be fair.
What,
Dinosaurs were shagging in the Paw Patrol. Dave, dinosaurs shagged in the Paw Patrol movie. You really need to watch it. So that was all fun. But yeah, he's been through nothing, and all what she's been through is that like she saw him die.
That's all.
No, but I think as a short-term fix in a marriage, like legitimately seeing your partner getting chowed on by a dinosaur would probably make you glad to see them alive again to get back together. I'd say 10 years' time they're divorced. Because he's a liar. He never told her when he lost his job.
Yeah.
He's really mean about her
That's
writing.
what I mean. They didn't,
he's a miserable bastard.
The movie did its best to sort of introduce some issues and conflict between the characters. Didn't actually resolve any of them.
Well, it's short term.
It's very.
No, there's 2 resolutions though. One, they now have money because, like, obviously, friction over money is a huge issue in a marriage. And 2, she saw him being eaten by a dinosaur and now he's alive again. So she's like, I love you. But like, I'm telling you, 5-10 years time, she's moved on. He's back to being a schlub again.
Yeah, because she's
clearly
now. She wants to leave. I know she said that wasn't me in the book. It was just my character. Like, I don't actually want to leave you at any minute. It's like she did. She was like, you saw her face, because Anne Hathaway's good in this.
Yeah, she's really good.
And you saw her face when she's speaking to that neighbour. Like, she wants fucking out of her life.
Oh yeah, like, but also think about, imagine being a suburban housewife in the 80s who clearly has like great artistic ambitions, and she wasn't working. She wasn't working outside the home. Her kids were teenagers. I'd say she's mind-numbingly bored. And then turns out her husband is like, I don't even have a job. I have no money. And she's like, well, I could have just had a job. Like, what the hell is going on here? Do you know? It's that really interesting transition when like women are like in the 80s, when women just burst into the workforce even more. Yeah, and she's on the precipice of that, and she's just bored, basically. So he's a schlub. I'd say 5 to 10 years I'd give the marriage, I mean. And there's a funny bit where, like, it took me a while to recognise who the daughter was, and then I realised she's one of those famous sisters.
Oh, she was in My Old Ass.
She's in My Old Ass, and also she was like in Nashville with her sister, and they're really good singers.
I liked her in this.
But there's a scene which had no place being in the movie other than that she's a famous singer, because she just goes into her car and we watch her singing. And that scene goes nowhere. We don't know anything about her. And then the next scene, they're just all back together. So it's like, okay, that is a scene written for someone who is an audience because she's a singer.
Well, yeah, there's flashes of little stuff where
the son and his dog. I was like, if you go out to rescue that dog, you deserve to die. And lo and behold, the son put the entire family at risk and ultimately killed his dad.
I completely agree with you. It's my least favourite trope. Also, Kathy and I are not pet owners. We're not like animal lovers, so we don't get. I know people get really invested about dogs, and Hathaway was on the press tour saying, like, you know, like, dog, don't worry, the dog won't die in this movie, and if a dog dies in a movie, it needs to get a hard R rating. And then the marketing team were like, what if we made all the marketing about the dog and did an AI podcast? And the whole world was like, we love it.
What are you talking about?
Do you not hear about any of this?
No.
They put the dog from this movie on a fake AI podcast that exists with loads of dogs talking, and there was huge backlash.
This sounds like the worst podcast of all time, and I never want to hear it. And I'm
anyway.
My point
is, cat lovers rise up, because this movie's like, don't worry, we won't hurt the dog. Casually killing cats. Cat's like, oh look, what a cute little cat. Eaten by a dinosaur. Where are you, cat people?
Sorry, what about the amazing scene where the gigantic snake came into the house.
Great scene.
Such a good scene.
Loved that.
Yeah.
Loved all the crocodile scene with the
Yeah.
3 levels. Like the action
was
staging
really
in this
good, really
is
good.
excellent. The
Yeah.
car going through the house, and then and I loved all the visual of like this bubble cutting off bits of
the bubble
houses.
stuff. And what about when the sun jumps through the bubble and he just lands
Brilliant.
on the ground?
Yeah, brilliant. The action, I thought the action scenes in this were legit great. And I
Yeah.
think Robert Mitchell David had such a great handle on
I love the way there was like
action
a
and set
very
piece.
subtle and you'd like practically miss a plot of the teenage girl being gay.
Ah, yeah,
like-
it felt like they shaved the edges off that for China.
I don't know because
It was so subtle.
It was so subtle, but that's okay because this film wasn't about love interests. So it
Yeah.
was just kind of tapestry, which I liked.
How about like
and it
her,
did turn
her
it
love
on her-
interest? Sorry, how did her love interest get her parents out in time?
Oh,
she
no one
ran.
helped her.
She ran into the.
Yeah, 'cause she ran.
She had
didn't
20
just-
minutes.
Like
How
Anne
did she get them
Hathaway
out?
could have phoned her parents for her, like.
Exactly.
But anyway, but what I liked about it is it did slightly mess with us because we thought that I thought the son and her might have had some little plot there, and
Yeah.
then it didn't happen, which I really liked. So yeah, overall I had a good time. We gotta go. Tell us what you thought about Oak Street. We have to go into our Patreon now and read all the messages we've gotten.
Yeah,
Can't wait
look
to
forward
read
to
them.
catching up on it.
And next week, not sure what we'll see yet. Possibly that film with.
Oh, it's teenage camp sex at Miasma place. Yeah, I think that one.
That looks really fun. So anyway, message us in what you'd like us to go and see. Bye.
Bye.
I don't need you to worry for me, 'cause I'm alright.
This episode is brought to you by Love Honey. Relationships can be messy, chaotic, and here's something nobody really says out loud, but everyone knows. Sometimes other people are just a lot. The situationship that's been situationshipping for 6 months with no resolution. The date who was perfect on paper but insufferable in person. The person who texts back eventually, having clearly not read what you actually said. And at some point, you just decide, not tonight. Tonight, I am taking myself off the market entirely. Plans cancelled, door locked, phone face down. This evening is for me and nobody else is invited. This is actually a radical act of self-prioritization. Choosing your own good time over waiting for someone else to maybe, possibly, if you're lucky, deliver one. Which is exactly what Love Honey is about. Your pleasure on your terms. No compromises, no mixed signals, no emotional admin. Just you actually having a good time. Love Honey, because you deserve a good time without the admin. Find them at lovehoney.co.uk.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.